This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law. Adequate notice has been provided. This meeting of May 6, 2024 was published in the Courier News and Star Ledger and placed on the borough's website. Notice of this meeting was also placed on a bulletin board at Borough Hall with a complete agenda. A copy of this notice is available to the public. A copy of this meeting shall be included in the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Brian Gallagher.
Here.
Council members, Teresa Bonner,
Here.
Glenn Denny,
Here.
Tom Mitchell,
Here.
Randy Pitts,
Here.
Gina Stravic,
Here.
Roger Vroom.
Here.
I'd ask everybody to stand for the salute to the flag. I'm going to ask Eagle Scout candidate Isaiah Wells to lead us in that. And then afterwards, please remain standing for a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you remain standing for a moment of silence for two individuals. The first young man, John McLaughlin, a very known figure around town, the son of Morgan and Jan McLaughlin. And he was a volunteer in our recreation program, just a wonderful young man. And also the father of Officer Gilbert, who was who tragically passed last week in a horrible accident. And our thoughts and prayers go to both families. Thank you. Okay, we'll take each one individually. Approval of the minutes of March 18th, 2024 for readoption.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? April 15, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And January 1, 2024, reorganization.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Departmental reports and notices are as listed. Just a brief commentary. Obviously, we're going into the fall season, or the spring season, and lots of activity going on in Somerville. We began with the farmers market this past weekend, an absolutely fantastic job. Even though the weather didn't cooperate, had a banner crowd, and just a wonderful, wonderful event. Drew people from all over the county, all over the region. And then you'll see we have just a rolling number of things. We have Girls' Night Out on May 16, Rolling Thunder on Memorial Day weekend, rolling through on May 26, Family Fun Ride on May 27, Memorial Day Parade on May 27, and obviously the Tour of Somerville bike races on May 27. January 1, I had promised that we would bring the Memorial Day Parade back to Somerville. It's been absent, I believe, for 4 or 5 years, and we are bringing that back. I have to thank Councilwoman Bonner for stepping up and helping out on that committee to return it, and also Mr. Sluka, who's taking a very active role. You'll see we have on the agenda tonight a group of dedicated citizens, both veterans and non-veterans, who have volunteered to be on this committee to help bring the parade back to Somerville. So it'll be a welcome addition, and I think the weekend kicks off on Thursday night with the legal runaround, I believe, as well. So action-packed weeks coming up in Somerville, so very welcome. Next we have, I just wanted to make mention that it is Public Service Recognition Week. And I just wanted to make note that, those that are in public service, whether it's uniformed public service, working for a municipality, a county, a state, those that choose a life in public service and government, it's not an easy life sometimes. You can't see them now. I don't know if Kevin, if you can kind of just do a quick scan of the crowd in the back. We have a number of police officers here to see 2 new officers being sworn in tonight. It's always a great day, but it's also a time to recognize all of our public service employees. So those that work in Borough Hall, those that work at DPW, those that are in administrations, those that are out on the ground and doing things. We thank you for your selfless service and what you do. And I would be remiss, and he's probably not going to like this, but there's a rumor out there that Lieutenant Garcia may or may not be retiring in the very near future. And I just wanted to make mention, I'm sorry, I demoted you before you retired. I'm sorry about that, Captain. And I want to thank you. I believe you're an officer for 30 years, 28 of which were with Somerville. That is an absolutely incredible career. Prior to that, I know you are a Marine. So you've lived a life of service. You lived it well, and you've served our borough very, very well. On behalf of the council and our citizens, I want to thank you for keeping our families safe for 28 years. That's quite an accomplishment, and I think that deserves a round of applause. Now, I know you hated every minute of that, but know it's done from the heart from everybody in Somerville, so thank you. Thank you. We have on tonight 2 resolutions and the swearing in of 2 new officers. Let's do the resolutions first. So Resolution 139 is approving the hiring of Timothy Shahid Black as police officer effective May 13, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, and then we also have number 140, which is approving the hiring of Adam Jacob Shahat as police officer effective May 13, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, I'd ask the chief to come forward. I'd ask Mr. Sluka to step up, and first up is Police Officer Timothy Shahid Black. Oh, yeah, you gotta come up. Family, come on, let's go. Absolutely. His commitment is a family's commitment.
I
I,
state your name.
Timothy Black,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established of the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do furtherly solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of police officer
the duty of police officer
for the Borough of Somerville
for the Borough of Somerville
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Well, it's summer.
Okay, next up is the oath of office for Police Officer Adam Jacob Shahat. And if you have anybody here you want to bring up, that's absolutely.
I
I,
state your name.
Adam Shahat,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of police officer
all duties of police officer
for the Borough of Somerville
for the Borough of Somerville
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome to Somerville Foil.
All right, I'd like to ask Chief Manning to come up and say a few words.
After a long process, well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of our guys and girls for being here. It does mean a lot when you guys are all here. It means a lot to everyone. To your new coworkers, to me, to the town, it means a lot. It's a big thing. It's good. But after a long process, these guys were, their backgrounds were looked at deeply and very aggressively, and they came out 1 and 2 on the process, and they are both police officers currently. They're already trained. They have road experience.
Good.
So hopefully we can ease them into a training process with a training officer here, and they'll learn how kind of we do it in Somerville, and what we like, and what you guys like, and what everybody in town likes. And I think they're gonna do fine. And I wanna thank you guys for all your assistance in accomplishing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So just a couple of comments. I always enjoy the nights that we swear in new officers because we have just an absolutely very special town. And I'm looking at the two of you when I talk about this. You'll get to learn it. This is just a beautiful, beautiful town filled with wonderful people who care about their town. Today's a great day. Everybody's full of smiles and a lot of juice to get things going, which is great. And what I would ask is that on those tough days, because you will have tough days, just remember today. Remember the enthusiasm you have for the job. When you're driving around, you know, wave to the neighbors, wave to the kids, stop and say hi to the kids. You know, be good with the good citizens of Somerville, and go after the bad guys with vigor. How's that? That's I can't say it much soft. Well, I could say it harder than that, but get them. You know, that's what we look for. We live in this beautiful town, and we want to keep it that way. So, you know, we've gone up to 34 officers, and we look to keep it that way. Not only does it keep our town safe, it keeps our officers safe when we have a full contingent of officers, and that's extremely important. Because at the end of the day, the commitment, as I said it before, the commitment that you make is a commitment that your family makes. And at the end of the day, your family wants you home, and we want you to go home to your family. So work hard, be safe, do well, and do whatever the chief tells you. So thank you. I'm going to go out of order a little bit because we do also have a number of officers here that are going to be receiving a life-saving award. And I'm going to turn it over to the chief to handle this.
All right, so if we could have 5 officers come up, you guys know who you are. Come on up, I'll read your names off. Sergeant Herbert, Officer Brian Anthony, Officer Ryan Creedweiss, Officer Michael Sergi, and Officer Anthony Palovic. So these gentlemen were.
Actually, why don't you come up in here, right in here, and you can run across right in front of that table.
Yes, we can get your picture. Smile. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a real brief background, and then I'm gonna see if Lieutenant De Palma may have some more details, better details, or I'll even ask maybe the sergeant to tell what happened. But they were sent on a rescue squad call for a woman who was bleeding heavily. And they were able to, and I'll let them give you the details, but they were able to help her and what we believe is truly save her life. We asked her to be here today, and she was going to be here, but she couldn't, but Dad is here on her behalf. So we'll get him up in the a second too. But let's do this. Sergeant Herbert, can you just let these folks know, kind of, without getting too deep, kind of let everyone know who did what and how and why and how you guys saved her life?
Sure. Officer Sergi responded to the School of Rock for a bleeding call. Mike went there, he said he's applying a tourniquet. We were all nearby, went to the call, found the victim, she had extensive blood loss, the whole floor was covered with blood. The staff at the School of Rock tried to apply a belt to stop the bleeding. Mike applied a tourniquet. We all got there, lifted her out of the chair, put her on the floor, we elevated her leg, and that still wasn't stopping the bleeding. Detective Anthony applied a second tourniquet and stopped the blood, but she lost consciousness. So we dispatched, the squad was already on route, they arrived, they took over care, and I'm hearing she had a full recovery. And it ended up being a luxury care listening.
So they, without them doing what they did, she would have passed, I believe. And on top of that, I do want to thank our rescue squad. We have an outstanding rescue squad in this town.
Yes, we do.
And I believe, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you've been trained by them in the use of the tourniquets, correct?
Yes.
They're the ones that actually brought this to light several years ago to get you guys carrying tourniquets. So thank you to the Somerville Rescue Squad as well, great group of people. Would you like to say anything to these gentlemen on behalf of your daughter?
Yes, sir. I'm very grateful for your service and for your help. It wasn't like the Chief said, it wasn't because of your help she would have crashed.
Tell her we're thrilled that everything worked out for her. And gentlemen, very good job. Keep up the good work.
All right, and I think we,
Oh, we do have some citations and awards we're going to pass out to the mayor. All right, we're good.
so gentlemen, thank you very much. Again, this is what you do every day. And, you know, I don't think any of us could imagine the adrenaline. You go from 0 to 120 in a second. And when that second's over, then you got to get back to day-to-day patrol. So, thank you. You know, you guys, you do a phenomenal job. Every officer, men and women, you do a fantastic job, and we thank all of you for what you do every single day for Somerville. Thank you. So we're going to take about a 30-second recess because I think the officers have to get back out on the street. They can't stay. Again, to the new officers, thank you. Look forward to seeing you out there. You'll see me out jogging, and I'll stop and I'll say hi, and we'll chat. But I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. So thank you. Let's take a 30-second recess.
It's an interesting shift.
What's up, Peter? Things good? Check out the new building yet? Don't work for you?
All right, we are back in session. Just a point of note that the police unity tour will be coming through town about 2:30 PM on Thursday, May 9th. Officer Vito Spadea will be riding. That's a bicycle fundraising ride that goes from actually all over the country, and they converge on the Law Enforcement Memorial down in Washington, D.C. And if you have the opportunity, it'd be great to have you come out and see a lot of the officers from all over the state who ride from New Jersey all the way down to Washington, D.C. over, I think it's 2 or 3 days they actually make the trip on. So if you can make it, again, Thursday, May 9th at about 2:30 PM on Main Street, right at the courthouse. At this point, I'm going to ask Isaiah Wells to come forward. He is working towards his Eagle Scout badge, and he's got a presentation that he would like to make, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you. It's all yours.
All right.
Is your microphone on? Yep.
Yep. Okay. I have like handouts.
If you'd like to just, yeah, you can hand them out.
That's it for everything.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Wells, you're on.
All right. So for my Eagle Scout project, I'm going to be doing a kiosk at Michael Epps Park, and I'm taking inspiration from the other one over at Exchange Field. So what we have in the packet there that you have is pictures of the one from Exchange Field, and basically that's what we're going to take the design from and implant it in the spot over at Michael Epps Park where it is in the packet. You'll see that little area. That's kind of the area. That's going to be the area that's in, and that's where I'm planning to put it. My plan for putting it into the ground was to like dig a hole down into the ground and then just put it in, but I will be further discussing with Rod or Mr. Hadley to see if he wants a cement base into the ground to make it more permanent. I was talking to him about like if the town or the council would want to like ever have to get it moved out of the ground, we would find like an easier option to like make it easier than having to break the cement to get it out and stuff. So I was thinking maybe we could still have the element of cement, but also have like a bracket in the middle of the cement that connects to the wood, so like be able to be screwed on and unscrewed, so you can move it if you have to. In the area that we're putting it is above on the top, over by where the tree is standing, so it's not down the hill. So if it does rain a lot and it does flood, it doesn't like get all like mushed up and all like messed up and stuff. So it would just go underneath and then pile up in the flood area instead of like, ruining the wood and stuff. My plan for if it does like encounter weather, which it will, I'm going to be buying pressure treated wood, so it's going to be able to like deal with the weather better and last longer, hopefully. And I will actually be building it myself and then like assembling. So we're gonna have all the pieces cut at my house and then brought and assembled at Lepps Park, and then basically like giving the other scouts in the troop individual jobs to fit their like capabilities and what they're able to do based on like size and like skill level and like age, because we can't like give like big adult jobs to a 10-year-old and be like, here, take care of that. So we'll have adults on standby. The, what do you call it? The ambulances are right next to it. The hospital is a couple blocks down. In the packet you have, there is a map that we put. I think but we have maps. We will have maps with us to the hospital from my house when we're working and cutting the wood there, and we will also have maps from Michael Lepps Park to the hospital with us on site, so we know where the hospital is in case we ever need to bring anyone to the hospital. And we will have first aid kits. I made sure to put that in on the, I think it's in tools or like supplies. We will have the adults handling the power tools and stuff, and making sure that all the power tools are handled with care. And if like someone is like if a younger scout is hammering a nail or stuff, we'll have an adult watching them so they don't hammer their finger to the piece of wood.
Adults do that too.
Yeah. We will always have at least a few adults in the area to like watch and maintain. Again, we will also have jobs put for each like scout and their skill level. So we're hoping that really won't have to happen where someone does a job that they're not like required to do or able to do, where it's more of an adult job and it's for the older scouts and stuff. So we'll have like the younger scouts like nailing and stuff, and then we'll have like my age group of scouts doing like maybe helping manage them, or like doing more difficult tasks like holding the pieces of wood for the scouts to nail or screw it in. And then we'll have the older scout or the leaders. They'll be like maintaining and watching the kids with all the hammers and stuff and making sure they're safe, having the first aid kits nearby. And I'm also planning for like refreshments and stuff in case, you know, they get like tired, they get hungry and stuff, and basically being like, we got like refreshments and stuff, like take breaks in between, so we're not just working and working and working, and working them to like their last like bit of energy. I would say for the implement of the kiosk, I would say I'm gonna check up with Rod to see if he wants cement in, and like add that to the total cost if he does want cement in. I have talked to him about it before and said basically I think it would be easier if we did put like cement and then a bracket and then have it attached to the piece of wood and have the bracket into cement, so it's more movable in case you have to like move it and stuff. For the doors itself, it'll have hinges on the side of the wood, and then you open the door like this, and you can like, and there will be a piece of cork board, and you can like tack things like thumbtacks stuff in. There will be a lock system, so nobody can like mess it up in there and like steal stuff. And if the town has to, they'll have like a spare key so they can like open it and put stuff in, like for like events, like what's going on. And like the idea of putting it there is it's like right in the middle of town, so everybody will see it and stuff, and everyone goes to the park, they go to the spray ground, they'll be like, oh look, there's an information center, that's what's happening this day, that's what's happening that day and stuff. And basically like it'll be like another information center, basically saying like events and stuff, and people can put like, if they know about events, they can like jot it down on a little card, put it on the corkboard, and like just tack it there and stuff, and then just be like, and then like add stuff there and like have it be in there and then like lock it and stuff and like close it. Do you have any questions or?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Isaiah, thanks for bringing this project to town. Ironically, I think it was 2013, my son James Swass, Troop 84, Eagle Scout, got his project. He's the one that built the kiosk at
That's great.
Exchange
at
Field.
Exchange Field or Carroll Pager Park, yeah. So I believe we have the plans still, along with all his Boy Scout stuff, but I think also that it was cemented, I'm 99% sure it was cemented in,
Okay.
and I think it will be a good idea to cement it in
Okay.
because of the flooding that we may get.
Yeah.
Secondly, the way the one at Let Park, at Carol Pedro Park is used, when James put the kiosk up, he made a presentation to the Environmental Commission and to the Recreation Commission. And one side is used to this day by the Environmental Commission and the other side by the Rec Department. So you might want to think about that as.
So
as we
basically,
move
you're
forward.
saying one side's for like rec and like other people, and then one side's for environmental. So having like different sides.
That's how it was arranged at that time. Nobody else seems to want to post or make the effort, but we change it every month or every 2 months.
Okay.
So on the environmental side, so and a lot of times we bring Kathy's stuff down as well. So however you decide to do it,
Yeah.
just think about that. So, because you want to make sure it gets used, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
somebody's got to post up there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions or suggestions?
So, Teresa?
When are you planning to, what's your goal, or your
I'm-
timeframe?
Planning to get it started like sometime during like school year, and then have it done close to the end of summer, and then be like able to like start posting stuff as like soon as it's like not as soon as it's done, but soon after it's done, so like people can like start getting events easier in like that area. But yeah, that's the timeline that I would like to get it accomplished in. Any other questions, suggestions?
So just a couple of comments.
Mhm.
One, you did a great presentation.
Thank you.
It's not easy to get up in front of us, and he's shaking his head, oh yeah. But you did fantastic. You
Thank
really
you.
did. So you talked about communication,
Yeah.
which you've done. You talked about having a concept,
Mhm.
which you did. You talked about creating plans, which
Yeah.
you did. And Councilwoman Stravic can provide those plans to maybe
Yeah.
help incorporate. You talked about location, identified. That's awesome. Then you talked about construction. You talked about tools and not hitting your thumb. You also talked about the job requirements and the safety requirements affiliated with that job. And you talked about food, because you got to feed the masses that come out to help you.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and I wrote it all down, and I think you covered every point extremely well.
And the people I chose to help with the project and be like the project supervisors, I chose Mr. Cleveland and Carrie McCormick to help with the project and help the process go by. And they've helped like check over all the papers, make sure each copy is the final like product, and like make sure all the spelling errors are correct.
Yep.
And all that stuff.
I ran into Miss McCormick at Ace Hardware yesterday, and she told me you were coming.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she's the taskmaster. That's but no, I think you did a fantastic job. It's a great project. I would say, look for those plans.
Yeah.
And work with Mr. Hadley, and, we look forward to seeing it up in the park.
Thank you.
So, great job.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good work.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you. You don't have to stay. Unless you got another badge you gotta earn.
I have almost enough to have 3 palms, I think. So
That's great.
I have a lot of merit badges.
Good for you. Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. It's always nice to see. Let's go through committee reports. We'll start with Tom.
Oh, okay. I just have one. New Jersey Transit has released its first ever sustainability plan. By the end of this year, at least 10% of new bus purchases will be zero emission. By the end of 2026, at least 50% will be zero emission. And by the end of 2032, all new bus purchases will be zero emission. That's all I have.
Thank you. I do understand, though, that they didn't put any funding plan behind that. So,
Well,
just saying.
this is in lieu of the diesel buses they've been buying.
Yes.
so.
Yep. Okay, Glenn.
Environmental Commission, we actually will meet next Tuesday on the 14th at 7 right here. But a couple things have happened since our last meeting as well. So we had a very successful Green Fair on Saturday the 20th.
celebrating Earth Day. It was great. It's the first time we did it on Division Street. The weather cleared out. It was beautiful. Many of us were there. Tons of townspeople. We had great vendors. DPW, thank you for coming and setting up actually 2 spots. They set up for us for giving away tree seedlings at the high school, and then came down and also gave away herbs and things through grants to tons of people were there. It was beautiful. It was a great day. Hopefully we'll improve upon it even for next year. And then I don't know if anyone has noticed all the different white flags that have been popping up in our parks, but if you've walked along the Greenway at all, you've seen them, and it's an awesome sight because those are marking spots for 150 brand new trees that will be planted throughout our parks, replacing a lot of ones that have died or had fallen during various storms. And I knew how many it was, and yet I still was a little bit awed as I went through the park, and it was another flag, and another flag, and another one. I can't wait to see them all in. We have a couple of them have gone in, and the rest will be coming in shortly. That was through a New Jersey Forestry Department grant. So we're looking forward to do more grants, more trees, and hopefully more good stuff. So hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday right here. And the time is, we're going to try 7 o'clock, a little bit earlier now. So
Great. All right, thank you.
thanks.
Gina?
So, the Board of Health meets next week, May 15th, 6 PM at the County Health Department office building, and they also were present at the Green Fair, providing public health information. The Rescue Squad will be celebrating EMS Week at our next Borough Council meeting with a proclamation, and EMS Week is May 19th to the 25th. The letters went out. Maybe you got something in the mail for the annual support campaign, so please support the Rescue Squad. I did get a text message yesterday. One of the neighbors, woman fell and ended up with a compound fracture of the femur, and I got great compliments about the squad and the service.
Yeah.
So, as always, we need to support them. So, thank you.
Agreed. Good. Thank you. Teresa?
The Library Board of Trustees met at the end of April. We heard the report from Jen, the branch manager, about how the library's been doing for the past quarter. And again, the numbers are up for people attending programs of all different kinds for all different age groups. From everything from baby story time, which, it's packed every single time. So they started another day. It's Monday playtime. In response to that, attendance is going up for preschool story time. There's a teen leadership committee that happens twice a month, and that is available for teens who want to get volunteer hours and be more involved working with the library. They also have many adult programs, everything from music, art, cooking, tarot cards, and gardening. And there are also programs for Spanish-speaking residents and those wanting to learn Spanish. The Book Bike will be visiting Division Street on May 17th at 3:30 p.m. as long as weather is good. They ask that you please check the Somerset County Library System website for full listing of programs and volunteer opportunities for adults and teens.
Okay, great. Thank you. Randy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Tickets are now on sale for Girls' Night Out, Thursday, May 16th, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. This year's event theme is 80s versus 90s. Don't miss this event of activities, entertainment, and special deals. Dining and drinking promotions, tarot card reading, massage chairs, tap snap photo booth, free trolley rides for all ticket holders, live music by 9D's Night, performing your favorite 80s and 90s hits, and so much more. Tickets and more information are available via the DSA website and the Girls' Night Out website. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Roger?
From the Recreation Department, we've got 2 upcoming events that are available for registration on the Community Pass. One is on May 19th, which is Family Yoga, and the other one was referenced before on Monday, May 27th, the Family Fun Ride, which is a great experience for children of all ages. Just a reminder that helmets are required for participation in the Family Fun Ride. I know my children, when they were younger, enjoyed going every single year. And it's a great experience. So get out there and you get to ride the course and experience what the athletes are out there doing a little later on. And stick around, as was said, for the parade. And it's going to be a fantastic weekend, Memorial Day.
Agreed. All right, great, thank you. All right, at this point, I will ask for a motion to open the meeting for public comment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, public portion is now open. I will qualify that. Please state your name and address for the record, and please address your comments to me.
Caroline Flamos, 37 West Spring Street. So I just have a couple of different things. The first thing I wanted to say is thank you specifically to Councilmember Bonner for spearheading the Memorial Day Parade return. Last year, my 92-year-old veteran neighbor was supposed to be the Grand Marshal, and then the parade got canceled, and it was a little heartbreaking for him. He's actually a Marine veteran. So hoping he'll get to have some role in the
He's a
parade.
good man.
He is.
Yep.
He's a very good man. Also, thank you so much to the Environmental Commission. The Green Fair was excellent. My son and I really enjoyed the whole setup on Division Street, and it was really educational even for the little guys. So really special to be part of it. I also have a question. So I had noticed there's an agenda item, not remembering the item number right offhand, but it's changing the Director of Community Development to a Land Use Director. And I was wondering how the role is really going to differ, and also whether you can share about the qualifications of the person who is being approved for it.
Okay.
Okay. Secondary to that, and I think that I've tried a couple of different ways to get answers to this. So I've noticed in some of the meetings that there have been times, and I think this is one of the mayor's initiatives, to bring people up to just talk about how things are done in the town. Like I've been to meetings where different folks have been brought up. Mm-hmm. So my question would be if there's like an expert in the town or someone who could talk or speak even in the future to how a townsperson would get a specific issue onto the agenda to discuss. And whether there's one person who can answer that or multiple people, that would be great to get more information about.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Josh Lyons, 99 Mountain Avenue.
Scott K, 102 Mountain Avenue.
We're here to oppose ordinance number 273-240318 that was introduced on March 18th. This ordinance would take away the parking in front of our homes on Mountain Avenue. Curious about if there was a study done. I know that there happen to be accidents that do happen at that corner pretty frequently. We know that there is a crossing guard there. It's for Immaculata School. But we're taking the parking away. They're extending the parking from 50 feet to 200 feet on Mountain Avenue. That is perpendicular to Altamont right there. And also they're extending the parking on the other side by the Cusick Funeral Home. So in my time living there in the past 6 years, I haven't seen any changes in terms of putting up speed signs, anything different other than one stop sign that has been put up on Altamont. So I'd just like to know, before this ordinance is passed, what information can we get and what rights do we have here in opposition of the ordinance?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Justin Hendrickson, 188 West Cliff Street. I'm coming up in support of the ordinance that my neighbors have referenced. I've lived in my home since 2014. can't tell you the number of accidents I've seen at that intersection. I have a young daughter. I worry about her safety. I worry about the safety of everybody who tries to cross there, drive there. And quite simply, with the parking the way it is on Mountain Avenue, you simply cannot see what's coming toward you. And so I think, you know, absent the ability to turn it into a four-way stop or a traffic light or some other solution, I think the changes to parking on Mountain Avenue are a reasonable fix. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hello, good evening. My name is Caitlin Martin. I'm on 2 South Middle Street. I'm here kind of representing my street. We're a very close-knit community. I have a neighbor over here, Teresa Bonner. Also, my neighbor, Michelle Vosk, has written to Kevin and has not gotten any response to an issue that we're having on our street. We are requesting information on how to get resident-only parking. It's a small street of homeowners, single family. There's many homes that only have one-car driveways. The renters on 77 Somerset Street, it's actually zoned for a single-family home, but there are 2, maybe 3 apartments in that home. There's also the laundromat that has patrons that park on our street, which makes it very difficult for the residents to park by their homes. There's also a lack of consequences for people parking over the parking lines on the corner of South Middle and Somerset Street. So it makes it very difficult to see pedestrians, oncoming traffic, that sort of thing. There have been multiple accidents. There's also parking only on one side of the street, so we've counted about 12 spots for 14 homes. So it's already very difficult for just the residents to park their vehicles on that street. So we were just requesting information on how we could get a resident-only parking.
Got
Okay,
it.
thank
Okay,
you.
great, thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Firm.
Yes.
Okay, public portion is now closed. I'll start kind of going backwards, so we'll start with yours first. I think we took this up, it was either the last meeting or the meeting before on South Middle. What we are doing is putting together a safety committee, a public safety committee, and it was suggested that if you could hold off until that committee is formed, we will task that committee with looking at that neighborhood. One of the things you may want to do is talk to your neighbors, get your neighbors to sign a letter requesting it. This way we have some information that we can bring to this committee, and they've got some background material that we can then task them with reviewing and then making a recommendation back to council. It's, you know, one of the challenges we have is trying to figure out what areas require permit parking, wants versus needs. So whether it needs it versus want it, and that's something that we have to look at. So everybody wants to be able to park in front of their own house. I get that, but we have to make sure that there's a good reason for that. So there is spots and areas around town that we do have permit parking. We'll take a look at it, and we'll put that on the agenda for the committee. They should be formed in the next month or so, and we'll have them take a look at it. As far as Mountain Avenue and Cliff, I think we can all agree it's a problem intersection. There's been a lot of bad accidents there. We have tried to do traffic calming in that area. We've put up the speed limit signs, the digital speed limit signs. We actually narrowed the road visually by putting the white stripe. It used to not have the white stripe. We put the white stripe on either side to try to slow that traffic down. The traffic doesn't slow down. Mountain Avenue is a county road. It's not a municipal road. I believe it was the county who came out and did a traffic analysis on what they recommended be the best way to increase visibility at that corner in order to reduce the number of accidents. They've determined that there's a visibility issue, and there's also a speed issue. You know, they kind of go hand in hand. You know, it's difficult. We can't have police there all the time. So these are some of those difficult, very difficult decisions that the council was tasked with, you know, taking parking away to the detriment of some. But what's the benefit to the greater good? Is it better to have a few less parking spaces versus less accidents? And that's the challenge we have. So, you know, it's up tonight for a vote. It's up to the council to decide what is appropriate, what is not. You know, we've also put in the large stop signs to try to. The basic problem is you can't cure stupid. You can't fix stupid. And people, they're not looking, they're not paying attention, they're looking on their phones. And what we have to do at that intersection is try to increase the visibility as much as we can. So that'll be on for a vote. And as with every ordinance, you'll have another opportunity to comment prior to that vote on that specific ordinance.
That's the hearing and adoption there.
Yes, yeah. All right, and then, Kevin, if you would just kind of maybe just detail a bit about the Director of Community Development versus the new title?
Sure. The land use director is a position that that will head an entire department that currently doesn't have a head to it. It doesn't have a department head. We made some shuffling of staff. We've had some folks resign over the past several years. And basically what it is a land use director who will also be the zoning officer, will also be in charge of, she will also be in charge of overseeing that department and the personnel within that department. It just, you know, the change in the ordinance is specifically just to change it from being a community development director to being a titled land use director. That's going to oversee the community development office. That's basically what's happening.
And at the turn of the year, in my address, I had outlined that we would be restructuring that office to make it more efficient and more user-friendly for the public. And this is consistent with one of those moves. As for, you know, how do town people get on the agenda? The agendas are determined by myself and the council. And as we see issues that come up, that's what we determine as to whether it's an agenda item or not. Roger and I will have a discussion here and there on issues that may or may not be required to be on the agenda. But if, as I've said to every council person, if they have an item that they would like to be put on the agenda, give me a call, send me an email, and we can discuss and determine whether it's appropriate or not for a council discussion. It may be appropriate for committee discussion, or it may not be appropriate at all. So I think that's it. So let's go into ordinances for introduction. Item number 2733 is amending ordinance 2716, Chapter 45, Alcoholic Beverages, Article 1, Licensing, Regulation 7, Fees, subsection A, paragraphs 3, 7, and 8. Do we have a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, on introduction, it is not required that we have public comment, but consistent with how I've always handled it, I will entertain any public comment on any ordinances that are open for introduction. So public comment is open. Hearing none, we'll close public comment, and that's it. Okay. 2734 is authorizing a standing historic advisory committee. This is something that we discussed at the last meeting, and all felt that this was a good thing to do. I think most of us kind of figured it was anyway, so we're just formalizing that process. So motion for,
Moved.
okay,
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, 2734, all right, 2735 is amending ordinance number 2730, establishing a salary range for employee titles to be paid to certain officers and employees of the Borough of Somerville. This is just a salary guide that we use. Any public comment on 2735? Hearing none, we'll close 2735. Motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
2736.
Mayor, you didn't offer public comment on 34.
No? Okay, sorry. Public comment on 2734 is the Standing Historic Advisory Committee. Public comment is now open. Hearing none, we'll close public comment. All right. 2736 is amending Chapter 5-73 of the Borough Code entitled Department of Community Development, replacing the Community Development Director term with the title of Land Use Director. Public comment on 2736 is now open. Hearing none, we'll close public comment. And motion for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
All right, item number 2732 is amending Chapter 166, Schedule 3, entitled No Stopping or Standing, extending the area on Mountain Avenue between West Cliff Street and Mountain Avenue. I will ask for a motion to allow for the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council members Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, public hearing on 2732 is now open. Hearing no further comment on 2732, we'll close. And motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I think that the ordinance is a little premature here. What we've got to do, what we need at that intersection is enforcement. I know you alluded to that in your discussion earlier. People are speeding much too fast on Mountain Avenue, not just through that intersection, but all the way up from, past two schools, passing Immaculata and Immaculate Conception schools. People are driving much too fast on that road, and we need enforcement. So I don't think changing parking, eliminating parking places is going to be much help there. I'd like to point out that there were, in the recent fatal accident at the southern end of Mountain Avenue, there was a pedestrian was run over and killed. There was no parking in any way obstructing the driver's view of the pedestrian. It was just a matter of unsafe driving.
I have a question too. Did I hear that the county is the one prescribing that extension?
Yes.
Yeah, don't we have a parking and safety committee
That's being formed.
being
yes.
formed?
Yes,
So they have not yet weighed in on this, they should have.
they have not.
And we also have a
We should wait for
situation, and we also have a situation where we kind of have the opposite story on Middle. I don't know, in terms of consistency, how we need to think this through.
Well, I was just curious as to how many spots that eliminates and what it is currently compared. 210 seems lengthy to me, but
4 times.
Takes you
Right.
back almost to the next block.
We did provide all the residents a
A map.
drawing of what it would be
Yes.
in the letter. Because if you recall, we introduced this ordinance in March, and it was a request of council that we send out letters. So we did with a copy of the drawing. It is 210 feet. It is a county recommendation based on their engineering review. They initiated to the municipality because we handle parking.
So that's where it currently sits. It was driven by a complaint initially.
Any other comment?
We've had this information now since March, if not before, I believe this came to us. So, you know, we definitely have had time for these discussions. I know across the borough, I'm sure there's other streets that we can certainly look at as far as sightlines go. And the DPW has done a great job when asked to put up signs reminding people not to park to the crosswalks. And sometimes all that takes is a phone call to remind people to do that, because I know that was brought up before, the lady who just left. But I think that the county has come to us and has said, we're trying to make this safer for the county residents and the borough residents. I think it's something that, I know it's taking away parking, and we do want to park in front of our homes, but we also have cars that drive up on lawns. And these are things we have to think about, whereas this is a danger to life and health. I think it's something that we want to, if we're going to talk about being, what's the word I'm looking about? Being consistent, thank you. My brain is in different places. About being consistent, we're talking about health and safety here. I do feel for the folks on Mid-All, and I think that is important. But this is something where, as has been stated by both neighbors, that there are accidents that happen there. We see it. This is something that would deal with that. It's my 2 cents.
Any other comment?
Yes.
Ready?
I know before in the past, when we had trouble at Clifton Grove, a few of us went out, observed what was going on, and we put rumble strips down. I don't know if we've taken that into consideration yet.
I've always asked residents, who wants the rumble strip in front of their house, because they're noisy. Yeah.
But it has helped on Clifton Grove. Just a suggestion.
Any other comment? All right, roll call.
Council members: Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
No.
Randy Pitts,
No.
Gina Stravic,
No,
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Mayor, that would be a 3-3
Yes.
vote, which you have the opportunity to break if you desire.
Yes, and that is a yes. I agree with Councilman Broom. It's a inconvenience, but with the number of accidents increasing townwide and the severity of these accidents, my vote is yes, to break the tie. All right. Let's go on to resolutions 141 through 153. Are there any that anybody would like pulled off for further comment? All right. So 141 is accepting resignation of Rich Matthews from the SRVSA effective April 30, 2024. 142 is approving the hiring of Kaylee Micarenda as Accounts Payable Finance Clerk effective May 13, 2024. 143 is rescinding Resolution 24057, authorizing an intent to purchase a 2024 Chevy Tahoe under state contract as listed. 144 is resolution of support for the mid-block crosswalk improvements, Central Pedestrian Safety Project. 145 is approving adjustments for certain non-union and management employees for 2024. 146 is adopting job title and job description for Land Use Director. 147 is approving a street closure on Grove Street, Main Street, and High Street for Diversity Festival, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Sunday, September 29, 2024. 148, approving Andrew Sprague to be hired as a seasonal laborer at an hourly rate of $18 an hour for the Public Works Department. 149, approving road closure for Artisan Fair, August 25, 2024, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on West Main Street between Davenport and Bridge Street. 150 is approving the hiring of Navleen Sapal as Land Use Director effective May 13, 2024. 151 is memorializing the authorization to submission fiscal year 25 community project funding request for Emergency Operations Camera Project. 152 is awarding a contract to PaveRight for basketball court improvements at Michael Lepp Park. 153 is establishing the Seniors and Veterans Committee and appointments to the committee. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Just note the Navleen Sapal, that will be May 20th. She'll be actually starting.
Okay.
Okay. Council members, Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Okay, bills and vouchers.
I make a motion to pay bills and vouchers in the amount of $1,142,939.80.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members, Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Glenn Denny,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
I need to recuse from LoSAP payments, but yes to everything else.
Thank you.
All right, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?